Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really diving into something pretty intense. Excerpts from the book Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, it's quite a source.
It really is. And our mission here is to pull out more than just the story we're looking for, like a proven path, how to turn pain, adversity, into real power.
Exactly. It's about exploring how this one person faced some brutal stuff, smashed through his own limits, and, found out who he really was deep down.
And it's not just about physical toughness.
No, not at all. This deep dive, it really gets into the mental side, the emotional shifts you need to make to totally redefine what you thought was possible.
We're looking at how someone facing just immense hardship systematically rebuilt his whole mindset.
Just ground up, yeah.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. The source material, it just lays bare this incredibly tough childhood.
It's hard to even imagine.
Right, feeling fundamentally broken from the start, constant beatdowns, trouble at school, and just relentless racism. He says, called nigger more times than I could count.
Just awful.
Yeah, living at the bottom of the barrel, as he describes it. Poverty, welfare, subsidized housing, and this depression he calls smothering.
Like quicksand, he says. Just pulling you down.
It's a really raw picture.
And what jumps out immediately, I think, is how he just rejects the whole idea of motivation as we usually think about it.
Right. He straight up says motivation is crap.
Yeah, pretty blunt. He saw it as like a temporary fix, something that won't rewire your brain.
So it wasn't about waiting for some external push.
No. He believed his bad hand in life was, quote, mine, and mine alone to fix. It's all about taking internal responsibility, an internal reckoning.
And that led him to this practice, the accountability mirror.
Ah, yes. That's powerful stuff.
After he failed that military entrance exam, the ASVAB, scored a 20 when the minimum was 36.
Oof.
He stood in front of the mirror and saw, in his words, a low-budget thug with no purpose and no future.
But it wasn't self-pity, was it?
No, not at all. He gave himself what he calls a solo intervention, told himself, nobody is coming to save your ass, it's up to you. Wow. And then he shaved his head. Like a ritual, a commitment, taking ownership.
And that just begs the question, doesn't it? How many of us really look at our own reality that, honestly, without flinching?
It's tough.
The accountability mirror isn't about feeling sorry for yourself. It's about taking the hard truth, the excuses, and turning them into fuel for your metamorphosis.
Using the pain itself.
Exactly. Harnessing it, redirecting it, moving from feeling like a victim to being the architect.
But the path wasn't straight, was it? There were setbacks.
Oh, definitely not straight. There was that brief period of hope with Wilmeth Irving, his mom's partner.
Yeah, the carpenter. He gave him permission to exhale, a break from the trauma.
But then tragedy struck again. Wilmeth was murdered.
Just devastating. He said his rage came back and he fell into PTSD-level dysfunction. It seriously affected his daily life.
And then, returning to Indiana, more overt racism.
Finding that note, Niger, we're gonna kill you.
Misspelled, but the message was clear.
Chilling. And the principal's reaction. Telling him, they don't even know how to spell nigger. Just dismissing it. He felt this profound loneliness, this awareness of hidden racism.
Invisible, but deeply felt, like you said.
But somehow he learned to process that negativity differently over time.
Yeah, that's a key point. He talks about how his anger towards racists eventually dissipated because I'd finally considered the fucking source, to use his words.
So understanding their own issues.
Kind of. Not excusing it, but seeing their discomfort, their insecurity. And that shift allowed him to take their insults and turn them into more fuel for the engine revving inside me.
So he stopped letting it drain him and started using it.
Exactly. He converted their negativity into his own drive.
And that drive led him to pursue pararescue, right? Inspired by that survival story.
Yeah, Scott Guerin's story. But then came another setback, the medical discharge, sickle cell trait.
And he admits something interesting there. He pretended to take the news hard, but inside.
Inside, I was ecstatic. He saw it as an easy way out, a chance to fold.
Which shows he wasn't quite there yet, mentally.
Right. And this connects to his idea of the calloused mind. Those early hardships, abuse, bullying, failure, they do callous you.
But there's a difference in how that callous forms.
Absolutely. Does it become resentment and fear, what he calls a soft mind? Or does it forge real resilience, grit, a willingness to fight a hard mind?
His journey was about moving from being half-baked, looking for the easy way, to becoming truly unbreakable.
It's all about how you process that suffering, how you integrate it.
Okay, so then comes this really pivotal moment, working as an exterminator.
Yeah, overweight, nearly 300 pounds. And he describes this scene.
The storm of roaches and the hiss of dead raccoon.
That was his what the fucking fuck
Yeah.
moment, as he calls it. A really rock-bottom wake-up call.
The moment he realized he had to make a stand and start walking the path of most resistance.
And right around then, he sees a Navy SEAL show on TV.
And a new, seemingly impossible goal is set.
Ridiculously hard goal, yeah.
And the transformation was intense, losing over 100 pounds in less than 3 months.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Swimming in freezing Indiana ponds in December.
His whole mindset shifted. He wasn't avoiding pain anymore. He sought out pain, fell in love with suffering.
He saw it as the forge, the way to build that unbreakable will.
Which brings us to Hell Week.
Ah, Hell Week. He calls it medieval.
More than just physical, a mind game.
Designed specifically to find the strongest minds, not just the strongest bodies.
And that bell. The bell you rang to quit.
For him, hearing that bell sounded like progress.
Progress? How so?
It was a reminder of everyone else choosing the easy way out. It reinforced his choice to endure, to stay in the fight.
And he wasn't alone in that fight during Hell Week, was he? He mentions Freak Brown.
Right, another candidate facing his own struggles. Bullied, marginalized, but they found strength together.
Became the pillars of boat crew, too. Stood up to instructors like Psycho Pete.
That camaraderie, that shared defiance, it fueled them. Shows you the power of connection even in the most intense individual struggles.
Okay, now this next part is, I think, incredibly useful for anyone facing any kind of challenge. The cookie jar method.
Yes, this is brilliant. So when the pain, the doubt, the exhaustion hit peak levels,
when your brain is just screaming, Esta OP,
he would mentally dig into his cookie jar. He'd pull out past successes.
like graduating high school, passing the ASVAB eventually, losing all that weight.
These weren't just memories. They were proof. Small fires. Chocolate chunks of success, as he calls them.
Fuel for the moment. He says, in the heat of battle, when shit gets real, we need to draw inspiration.
It's a conscious act of reminding yourself.
Yeah.
I've overcome before, I can overcome this.
It's about self-belief, grounded in actual experience.
And it just highlights his core insight. The human body can withstand and accomplish a hell of a lot more than most of us think possible.
And that it all begins and ends in the mind.
Exactly. It's about consciously redirecting your focus when everything tells you to quit. You draw on that proof from your cookie jar to override the doubt.
It's leveraging past wins to fuel present endurance.
Powerful stuff.
But even achieving SEAL status wasn't the end of the challenges, right? The journey keeps going.
Never ends. He finds out he has a hole in his heart. Congenital. He needs multiple surgeries.
Which sidelines him from combat, puts him in a recruiting job.
Yeah, non-deployable, non-combat.
Yeah.
Could have been crushing.
But what did he do?
Instead of giving in to disappointment, he used the time. He worked to perfect my recruitment presentation, got much more detail-oriented with the admin work, kept his mind sharp.
Always finding a way to get better, even in a setback.
And this period really solidified his starting at zero mindset.
Tell us about that. It came after Ranger School.
Yeah, he'd lost 56 pounds, looked like hell, but graduated. And he realized, no matter what you or I achieve, we can't be satisfied.
Because life is dynamic. We're either getting better or we're getting worse.
No standing still. He pushed for always being willing to embrace ignorance, to be the beginner again.
To become the dumb fuck in the classroom again, as he puts it.
Yeah, quite the metaphor. But it's about humility, right? Shedding ego to keep learning, keep growing.
It's the complete opposite of resting on your laurels.
Absolutely. Recognizing that past wins don't guarantee future ones. They're just steps. It challenges you, the listener, too, doesn't it? When do you think I've made it and stop pushing?
Yeah, it's a constant re-engagement with learning.
And you see that in his recruiting work, too. Admiral Winters tasked him with a specific mission.
Increasing African-American representation in the SEALs. It was only 1% at one point.
A huge disparity. And his approach wasn't just about the military. He used his own story.
To show anybody could change their life.
And his recruiting method wasn't a slideshow.
No. 3 a.m. mountain hikes. Pushing kids up 14,000-foot peaks.
He was teaching them how to push limits, how to suffer and keep going by doing it. Experiential learning at its most intense.
And this ties into his critique of our modern culture, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The whole quick fix, life hack, efficiency thing.
He argues those might give you small wins, maybe.
But they will not lead to a calloused mind or self-mastery.
For real growth, he says, you need more. Passion and obsession, even talent, are only useful tools if you have the work ethic to back them up.
Basically, there are no shortcuts to building that deep resilience. You got to do the work.
That's such an important distinction. Optimization versus transformation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And practically, he talks about removing the governor on your brain.
Explain that. What's the governor?
It's that mental limit our brain sets, often way before our actual physical limit, to protect us, conserve energy.
So it's not a real wall, it's a mental one.
Right. And removing it means pushing past that usual stopping point, just 5 to 10% further.
So if you do 100 push-ups, aim for 105, 110.
Yeah. Or run 10% further next week.
Okay.
You're systematically showing your brain, hey, we can do more. You renegotiate those limits.
Then what about failure? How does he view that?
Crucially, he uses after-action reviews, ARs.
Like in the military.
Exactly. Be brutally honest about what went wrong. Like his pull-up record attempt, he realized a rusty bar and distracting bubbly looky-loos threw him off.
Okay, so identify the factors.
Analyze it objectively, make adjustments, and this is key. Schedule another attempt as soon as possible.
No wallowing, just learn and go again. Relentless.
Failure becomes data, not a dead end.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, how can we apply this intensity to our everyday lives?
Right, maybe not Hell Week, but our own challenges.
He makes it clear. Relentless self-discipline to schedule suffering into your day every day. That's the price. It sounds harsh.
But the payoff.
At the other end of that suffering is a whole other life just waiting for you.
Yeah.
A life with expanded potential, deeper understanding of yourself.
And he lives it. Says there's no finish line.
Still pushing. At 43, running faster than in his 20s, taking on wildland firefighting.
And he acknowledges that people, sometimes even close friends or family, might not get it. They might project their own limits onto you.
Yeah, insecurity, jealousy, it happens. But he hopes that your success, your dedication,
might eventually enable them to see the contours of their own prison. Maybe even inspire them.
it's a hopeful thought, isn't it?
It really is. So looking back at this whole journey, from that traumatic start, the physical issues, to becoming this elite athlete and veteran, it's just an incredible testament to willpower.
And that brutal self-honesty, the commitment to mastery.
It really drives home the power of that calloused mind. Not as something hard and bitter.
No, but as a dynamic engine. Something resilient, always growing, always asking for more, pushing boundaries.
Turning the impossible into the actual.
Yeah, transforming reality through sheer mental fortitude.
So when you're faced with something that seems impossible, when the world or even your own mind says you can't, his response comes down to one question.
What if?
Such a simple but incredibly powerful question. So for everyone listening, think about your own journey. What limits are you just accepting right now?
What potential is just sitting there untapped?
And what could you actually achieve if you dare to ask yourself, what if?
And then truly went to war with yourself like he did to find out.